U.S. GDP rose 2.9% in the fourth quarter, more than expected, even as recession fears loom. Really, you didn't expect that. You didn't expect some fuzzy numbers, some fuzzy math. You didn't expect that. I mean, come on. It's the fourth quarter, number one, guys. People are spending stuff for going out, consumer spending, retail, restaurants, all this stuff. I mean, this is number one, it's kind of expected in a way. Like, let's be honest here. You can't take anything these people say seriously. And number two, watch the revised numbers. Over the next few months, watch the revised numbers to see what actually happens, to tell the real truth, or at least half the truth. Because we know, again, like things like inflation, they don't even tell us the truth. They won't even give us the actual truth of what's actually happening. Remember, this is real inflation. So here we are. We got real inflation here. They're telling you inflation is it's only 6%, guys. No, if you actually go by how we've done it, it's 15%. So this is why people get throttled. This is exactly why people get hammered. They have too much month at the end of their money, and they don't know what to do because they're getting destroyed by their government. Literal theft through inflation, through higher prices, because they're sending it to Ukraine. They're sending it to broken climate projects, Solyndra, whatever it is, and they're sending it all around the world, spraying it around to their pet projects. I'm sure they'll fund, Bill Gates' project with Ruminate in Australia, funding cow farts and cow burps we talked about this week. They're going to send, the cash, your children's cash, grandkids, all over the world to whoever to fund, gender equity studies in Malaysia and in the Middle East. But then you're going to pay higher prices. And then they're going to tell you, you're too stupid to figure it out. You are too dumb to go do the research for 5 minutes and actually figure out you are getting screwed. It's actually 2, 3, 4 times as much inflation as you think that there is, because we just told you. And then 95% of people, as we know, we've showed this a million times. Jonathan Gruber, it's a minute video on YouTube. We've shown this ad nauseum 10, 12 years ago. He comes out comes out laughing, just joking with his pals at a round table. Like, I mean, call it the stupidity of the American voter. I mean, the lack of transparency is a great tool to get, anything passed, but namely, they're talking about Obamacare. And we knew it wouldn't get passed if we actually told people what it was and what it was going to do. So we had to, we basically had to lie about it, right? We're paraphrasing. But it's a minute-long clip. You can go watch it yourself. Just like I showed the FDIC clip, the minute-long clip the other day and posted on here. I'm going to post that, the Jonathan Gruber video as well, actually, the minute-long clip. Just phenomenal. I mean, these people know you are too stupid. They know the people are too stupid. They think you are too dumb to go do the research and actually call them on their BS, to actually vote someone else in. They think you're too dumb, too stupid to go get involved in your local politics. Because at the end of the day, us Bitcoiners at the end of the day, we believe in the local, in the regional, if anything, in the citadel. And your own plot of land, your own building your family from the ground up, foundation up. So at the very most, it's getting involved locally, building your community, which has to do with your local politics as well, making sure that we're doing things with first principles, with actual nature's law, and actually being good, upstanding citizens. That's what Bitcoiners believe. That's who they are at the end of the day, down to their core. They believe in taking care of the people around them in their community. We're not, doing stuff in far-off lands and doing all this garbage when we don't even have our own log out of our own eye here in America, in our own towns, when things are just run amok, when school boards are just absolutely blowing up left and right and keeping kids on Zoom calls and keeping them in bubbles in classrooms. I mean, what kind of world are we living in? This is why. You break the money, you break the world right here. And one of these reasons is the debasement of currency. They're destroying your currency, stealing it through theft, as we talked about a million times. Money is just a container to store your time and energy. That's all it is. A hard money, gold and silver were the best. Now we have Bitcoin. That's a truly finite box with no inflation, unlike a little bit with gold and silver and then a lot with fiat currency. That's that hole in the box just pouring out. Your time and energy is pouring out of that box through inflation. And they're taking that inflation and they're sprinkling it all over the world to things that most of us don't even believe in. They're taking it to fund all kinds of insane things we won't even get into now, which you know what I'm talking about, all the insane things you think of. And they're doing that right in all of our faces. So if you want to keep your wealth, your finite wealth, your finite time in a finite container, Bitcoin's the only thing I found. I thought it was gold and silver. I used to be a gold bug 10 years ago. I thought it was. But I found something that's infinitely better. That's what this is all about at the end of the day. That's truly it. So, GDP, great. Awesome. Keep living in this clown world. What are we doing to actually get to the bottom of this when the metrics are all screwed up? I just showed you the metrics are all screwed up. We're $31.5 trillion in debt. What is a 3% GDP, or so we say, going to do for any of us? What is that going to do for anything? this is the funny part. I just had an article up here, now I lost it, of all the layoffs happening. So all these layoffs are happening. Oh, things are great, actually. Things are awesome. All these macroeconomic indicators. And there's global liquidity pumping back in the market. Dr. Jeff Ross has showed that. We've showed that with the bond yields going down, DXY going down. So liquidity pumping back in the market. We have all these macro indicators, though, telling us, hey, things are real bad. They look like the dollar versus Bitcoin here. They're going to the floor. I know friends and family have gotten laid off. Every time you look at something, there's layoffs happening everywhere. So is that, like, great? These companies' earnings might look great in a couple quarters from now, because they laid off a bunch of people and they helped their bottom line and helped their balance sheet. But now we've got a bunch of people out of work. So now they're sucking off the government with employment or whatever, and they're just feeding this loop. It's the socket, like we talked about, plugged into itself. That's what happens when you're feeding off of the government, which is, again, the government doesn't own anything. They don't have anything. We give them all the assets. We give them all of the money, because we're the ones that work for it. We give them the money to then go redistribute it out to other people that are unemployed or are on some type of welfare or Social Security or some type of entitlements or something like that. We're the ones that fund these Ponzi schemes at the end of the day. And it's not saying, we're not against anyone that actually needs help. If you actually need help, there's a million organizations in the world. There's a million churches. There's a million local organizations you can go and actually get help. Go get food. I've served in food kitchens. My wife has served in 10 times more food kitchens than I have. There's a lot of those people that will literally deny taking something because they don't like it. I don't like that soup. I want that over there. Excuse me? I thought you were in need. This is a world we have created because we have broken the money. We are $31.5 trillion in debt, and we don't know what's up, and we don't know what is down. This is the world we live in, because we don't even know what the inflation is. We have Jonathan Gruber, the Obamacare architect, telling us we're too stupid to know what's in the bill. We're going to find out within it after we pass it, a la Nancy Pelosi, right at that time as well, talking about Obamacare. And that's been used over and over again, just like the omnibus bill that they just passed and rammed down our throat. Another nearly $2 trillion they just rammed down our throats because they can't get a budget in, and they just ram everything in there because they know no one's going to read it. Not even the politicians going to read it. So how do we, this is beyond the pale. And this is why I'm such a staunch Bitcoiner. You have to fix the money to fix the world. I've tried the politics route. I've tried that. I've been in hockey all over the world. I've played in countries all over the world. Russia, Sweden, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Germany, you name it. I've played so many places. And it's the same story everywhere. It's people happy with bread and circus and not taking charge of their own life at the end of the day. Let's get prepared, get resilient, study our mind for 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, get settled, some meditation, some prayer, Bitcoin, gold, silver, arms, security, food, water, shelter, building the community around you. This is the only way out. That is the only way out. I'm telling you right now. Get right spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. If we don't do that, we are screwed. We're going through a fourth turning. There's great chaos coming. We know in great chaos comes great opportunity. That's the beauty of this. This is not a doomsday thing. It's not a doomsday channel. It's freedom isn't free. It's put in the work, proof of work, just like Bitcoin. Put in the work, and we know we will get what we need. Ask and you shall receive. I appreciate you so much tuning in here. Please, 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 please like and subscribe here to help us do more of what we're doing. And please share with someone you think might need to hear this, to understand this. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one. And please, please take care of your time, your finite time. Only trade it for finite assets. This is not financial advice. This is freedom advice. Bitcoin is time, and time is Bitcoin. It's the only fair trade to make. Once you do that, your life starts changing. It starts changing. This is the dollar compared to Bitcoin. This is your eggs on the dollar going up and up and up. This is your life on the dollar going up and up and up in cost. This is your life on Bitcoin going through the floor, getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. You can buy that Citadel someday. We look forward to seeing you on the next one.